Hope you like the intro. I think I'm dressed appropriately now looking at myself. Um, this is the easiest necro speed team, the easiest speed team to get in the game. Um, Now, when I say speed team and when most people say speed team, we're all talking about under a minute, but a lot of people are talking more like 30 seconds. This doesn't quite hit 30 seconds. It won't with Fran and the team. You're not running enough damage. Plain and simple. There are some modifications you can make to make this faster, but they do involve nat 4s or nat 5s that just aren't going to be as easy to get a hold of. The point of this was to make the team that most people can rush, and in a lot of people's cases, they just started a new account, or they don't have a necro team yet, or they don't even have dungeon teams yet, and they want to get one. This is the one I would run at, to be honest. Giants is arguably more important for PvP, and if you have a lot of crazy nat 5s, that's what you want. But if you're trying to get your account progressed fast, this is it right here. Make a fast necro team and just beat the hell out of it, because you'll get rage and you'll get will, and that gives you your dungeon teams and your PvP units at least having one good set on them. And those are the best sets for those two areas of the game. Rage is just doing way more damage than Fatal Runes do. If you can crit, you need the crit rate. And Will means that you're safe, but you're also able to do things. You can execute strategies because you're able to go first and make sure you're not getting cut. And if you don't go first because they happen to have better runes than you, well, you're safe because you will, unless they have a unit that can take that immunity off yours. You can't take debuffs, which should mean you can't get one shot. Should. This is where I would start if you're trying to go fast. If you don't care about the lore of the game or the correct progression path and you're trying to get fast and you're trying to min-max, this right here, guys. The 3 Inugamis, super easy to get. I don't believe there's a secret dungeon for most of them. I don't remember, but they do drop pretty easily. Crow you get twice from the new player challenges. Super awesome. Raoq you get from Famon, which you should already be using to get XP anyways if you're XP farming. Not hard to get a hold of. And the water one I believe drops from Ragon. Um, but if not, again, nat 3s, like you can drop these. Fran, if you don't have Fran, you probably didn't finish the Summoner's Way, so good luck. I think you can get these from Ancient Coins, I think. Or maybe it's Guild. I don't remember, it's one of those, we'd have to look. But otherwise, you should have her, like they gave her to you, and there are missions that you have to use her for. Probably need her, probably have her, I hope. If you don't, there are thousands of units that can replace this slot, but okay, maybe not thousands. But there's a lot of units that can take this spot. They're just gonna make it harder to rune because she is the main healer here, and you do take damage in this team. So Vamp Lord is a pretty easy one for one. If I'm between the two, I'm going for Fran because you can skill her up with regular fairies, and that's really nice. And then Shaman, there is a secret dungeon for this guy. Um, you don't need the skill ups. I mean, you need the regular skill ups. You don't need the 2A skill ups. That's just an extra cooldown turn and some extra damage, which means you clear a lot faster. I believe I was still getting a minute 20 before I skilled him up. And if you look, I still don't have skill ups on any of these. Oops. She is skilled up. I believe she needs to be skilled up for the team to work. But they don't need the 2A skill ups. This exact team will work on B10 without 2Aing the monsters, so I think what I would do is build the team, run Necro for a little bit, and then use the newly dropped runes you got from Necro 10 to build your 2A dungeon teams, and then use those to second awaken these 4 units, and then you'll be ready for Abyss Hard. It really only takes, like, I think 4 hours total of gameplay to get this team built, and that's just because second awakening these monsters takes a little bit of time. There are ways to min-max that and get super fast teams in those, and the beginner runes do help do that. You might be able to do it faster now. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying from my experience trying to rush accounts, it took me about 4 hours to get those built on a fresh account. Anyway, let's see the team run real quick. And normally I would do like a manual run, but I don't think that's necessary here. It's pretty clear what happens. Fran hits the damage buff, and then Raoq just clears the waves. Mid-boss comes in, Shaman does some big damage with the defense break from the Inugamis. Really quick shred down. We'll go over runes in just a sec, but you'll notice sometimes my Raoq doesn't quite clear a unit and they have to rotate through, and that's okay. But in the ideal speed team that wouldn't happen. And then Shaman just practically one-shots the full boss. That's really the whole point of the team. Break the shield, use the Griffon to one-shot the boss. Which is why a lot of other teams will replace the Griffon with the Fire Magic Knight. She fills the same slot, does the same thing, but you don't have to second awaken her. You just have to skill her up. So it's a bit of a premium upgrade, but you'll see we even got a minute 20 on that when I had to click play after the fact. Pretty stable. I don't often see failures on this team. Yeah, anyway. But now that you've seen the team run, we'll show off the runes real quick. Nothing too crazy. I did have Raoq runed up for another dungeon. He's on triple blade just to get the 100% crit rate. I didn't want him missing crits. Kind of low attack and crit damage, kind of low overall damage. Damage dealt on water, 13%. Okay, that artifact should probably go somewhere else. Skill 1 crit damage there, though. He could definitely use some artifact upgrades. Crow, kind of same story. I tried to get as close to 100% crit as I could. Slightly higher attack, but really what you want on Crow is more the crit damage. He's on Fatal Blade because it was runes I just threw on him. They're not great runes. Triple guard on Icaru, and then an extra 200 defense and artifacts. Some co-op attack damage on him, just for the added damage on his team up. I believe 3200 is the defense you need to hit to make it pull 4. And the artifacts here are what's putting him over that number. But Shaman is really the only one I put time and effort into ruining on the team, and even then, it wasn't a whole lot. His damage scales off attack speed and enemy max HP, so with the boss locking your attack speed at, I think it was 180, um, it really only makes sense to scale off the max HP, so we're looking at just as much crit rate and crit damage as I could possibly crank into him, and making sure that he goes last, but before the boss. And I believe the boss is at 169, so this whole team is actually kind of fast. Part of that's because of the Fran leader skill. Um, I think I think Fran's the only leader skill that. Oh, okay. I guess you can shaman leader. For just slightly more damage on him, but that it really doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, they're very, very easy to rune up, kind of easy to get a hold of, kind of easy to get built up. It scales well. You can run this exact team comp all the way up necro as you build these monsters up. So you don't have to shoot for exactly this team right away. You can get all the monsters together, try them out in V10, and then start second awakening monsters and trying Abyss normal and trying Abyss hard until it just works. And then from there, it'll just be a matter of speeding it up. Um, as you saw before, I have faster runs, not with this team, um, but I very easily could get faster runs with exactly this team. So I would love to hear from you guys and see what your times end up being once you get it done. Let me know in the comments. But that's all I got for you today, and I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.